Merry Christmas!
I just came straight back from the North Pole to record this, and I'm going straight back to the warehouse to make some more toys.
I will say the last Christmas party I threw for Building Connected, that thing was sick. We had a casino night. We rented out this gigantic facility, and we knew we were getting acquired, so we didn't care how much money we were spending.
How much was it?
Still, for sure, over 100,000 on just the party.
Yeah, nice. How many AEC Tech IPOs will there be in 2026? This is something that you didn't cover last week, but you should have, which was about equipment share. Yeah, filing for IPO.
Two.
And then there will also probably be most likely be Inframarket too, right? So that will be 2 next year.
So there will be 3 because Anthropic will be the third one.
Ha 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 ha.
And Bytes.
Here we are. Just came straight back from the North Pole to record this, and I'm going straight back to the warehouse to make some more toys.
Nice. Nice. Now you have folks at home to bring toys. Quite a lot of them.
Yeah, and then 1 extra next year too. So it'll be very busy Christmas. Dustin, it was your idea to wear the Christmas attire, and you've like, what happened, man?
I've been in bed sick. Started getting sick on Tuesday. I spent all day in bed yesterday, and I actually don't own anything, so I am lame today. I really wish I don't even have an ugly Christmas sweater. And I was like looking through my closet before I got on. I was like, how do I not own an ugly Christmas sweater?
Damn.
So
you don't own Christmas sweater. You just order it on Amazon the day before. That's how you own it.
I would have done that. I just didn't leave the bed. I took NyQuil and slept most of the day.
Here is the proof of what Martin just said. I literally just opened this before we get live. Amazon is so good. Prime is like, well,
so good.
We're not an advertising agency for Prime, but why not? It's a great product. So very helpful when you're trying to dress up as Santa Claus for your last Brixbox Bytes episode of the year. So we decided that this would be the last one, and it's the 18th of December. Next week will be Christmas Day, and the day after that, the week after that will be New Year's Day, and I'm sure there'll be a few sore heads. So we decided we will postpone till at least the 8th of January. Do you know what I found funny when in this little prediction market beta that we're running? The majority of people voted that they were working on Christmas Day.
That they are working on Christmas Day?
I don't know if I believe it or not.
Do we want to go over some of the results, wins and losses?
Oh, you're catching me.
Catching
I mean,
me
I
off
could
guard?
get. Let me do it. I'll do a little update at the end of this about how the leaderboard is going, because it's getting a little bit competitive.
And maybe
out there.
explain what these predictions market are.
Well, if people, okay, yeah, good point. If people have been listening, they will have an understanding of what it is. As we've mentioned it a few times in the previous episodes, but over the past 2 weeks, we've been running a closed beta with a few people for the AEC prediction market. And what we have done is run some daily markets, some weekly markets. Daily means that you put a question out at the start of the day, like who will win the great debate, Mike or Luigi, the one we hosted on Tuesday, and then people vote yes or no, and by the end of the day you conclude that specific market. So, and in that instance it was the most popular vote that we've done, but the idea really is that it runs for a longer period. So for example, you may do like will a certain stock close higher at the end of this month versus the end of that close at the end of versus what it was at the start of the month. And then if people vote yes or no correctly, the end of the month comes, if the stock is higher or lower, then the people that predicted correct get a big payout. Obviously it's not for real currency because that would come with some regulation issues, but we're currently doing it for points and prizes. And so yeah, we're on this is the penultimate day. There are a couple of daily markets left to go and a few of the weekly markets to conclude, and then we will see who the winner is. And at the end, I will tell you what the current leaderboard is. And we've learned a few things as well. It's actually very kind of difficult to execute on, but I can
to come up with the questions.
come up with the questions, make it engaging for people as well, because people have to go outside of their
Mm.
day to put these to like log in and put their bets in. So it's like, how do you incentivize people?
There was
to
one
get involved?
question. There was one question that I read maybe a few days back that I was pretty sure that you didn't come up with it. There was something about who helps you with these.
No,
Have you created all of them?
like not all. I stole some from Polymarket and Kaoshi, but I think the rest of them, I would say 80% made up, 20% stolen, something like that. Don't hold me to that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's something that I think we will look at in the new year. If the beta outcome is convincing me to put more effort into it, then we shall do that. What do you guys do for your Christmas party anyway? Shall we talk about the end of the year? What happened in Bricks, Bucks, Bytes? What happened in the industry? What happened Bricks and Bytes Edify and so on and so forth? First off, I'm very curious to hear what's your formula for a fantastic Christmas party?
Like a work party or?
Yeah, office party.
Yeah. I mean, nice dress and good photos.
We can't put that as the thumbnail of this episode, man.
We did not get to have a Christmas party at Edify because we're completely distributed. We flew everyone in October. And so that kind of served as getting the team together. I wish we did. And, we'll be bigger next year than we were this year. So probably be able to facilitate more. Although just the timing of flying everyone out for the holidays, because we have people in other countries, really, really challenging.
Too busy period. Yeah. Too busy period.
Yeah.
However, I will say the last Christmas party I threw for Building Connected, that thing was sick. We had a casino night. We rented out this gigantic facility, and we knew we were getting acquired, so we didn't care how much money we were spending.
How much was it? Still.
For sure over 100,000 on just the party.
Yeah, nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm kind of, based on the few stories I heard from you over the few years, Dustin, I'm like sad I missed out on the Building Connected heydays.
It wasn't just the Building Connected heydays, it was the Silicon Valley heydays. Like I've been reminiscing with some friends. It was like, I don't know if that time will ever come again, because like money was treated very differently.
Yeah.
Very differently. And yeah.
Like more scarce or less scarce?
Less scarce. Way less scarce.
Less scarce.
I think that from my experience with Christmas parties, they usually always ended up in at least one fight around the office.
Yeah, I would always have to sit down with HR afterwards. And,
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Who's in trouble?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had some, like, back when I was working for companies, there was some real ridiculous situations where HR was involved, and even HR were like, I can't believe we have to do this. But we do.
Really?
Disciplining people for inappropriate behavior.
The only Christmas party in the UK when I was employed in a corporate, like 500 people size company, our manager took us to a strip club. My first time in a strip club.
I have to say that's prominent in construction, though. Like that's very, very common.
No, but that was providing insurance for the construction contracts, right? So it is construction obviously related, but it's not like boys on site going to a man's house.
Yeah.
No comment on this.
I mean, like to back Man's point up, honestly, when I was in corporate as well, it was the go-to destination for the men, right, around. And when you got taken out by people who were doing work for you or vice versa, it usually always ended up in the strip club. It's what it is.
I'll say one thing that I don't think is that controversial. During the heyday of Silicon Valley, there is a facility called the Gold Club, and they used to do a lunch buffet on Fridays, and that would be frequented by like half the startups in the Valley. That Friday was a gigantic party.
Why not? Okay.
Yeah, I was just surprised. That's the British culture that you go to a strip club on the Christmas party.
Yeah, I think it's actually good. Those things have kind of died down a little bit. I don't think it's as frequent anymore.
I feel like I need something to back this up, like the Y Combinator's guide to a great Christmas party or something. But I
Oh
don't have
God, if they
anything
have a
right now.
guide to a great Christmas party, that's awful. A great Christmas party is anything you can do to bring everyone together. Like,
Here's something. Oh, there's too many. There's 21 facts. Pick a number and I'll read it to you.
that's already too many.
17.
17 says, if someone arrives at your party and doesn't know anybody, welcome them and then place them with another group or person. Ideally, you can pick someone they specifically get along well with. At second best, just someone who's friendly and easy to talk to, but ultimately you can just insert them in any group that's nearby and open. The main point is to prevent them from having to butt in on strangers themselves, which for many people is mortifying, while your host privilege allows you to do it for them. Is it kind of weird that there's like a guide to helping people enjoy parties?
There's
Or they
guides
just
for
kind of show
everything.
up and just enjoy and just like part of the formula of a good party. You just go and like, see where the wind takes you.
I mean, assuming those are for founders, I guess that I would question, like, if you're investing in someone to lead an organization and they don't know how to entertain a guest, probably a sign not a great leader. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can
That's
think of
actually
a,
interesting because that's actually interesting. So the question is like, does a great founder need to be a great leader straight away? Like, I think it helps for sure, but not every great man is like entertainer. Obviously, you
no.
need to engage people. You need to engage people and make them go with you, follow you. But mm,
What do you think, Dustin?
I think it depends on the type of organization you're building. Like, if you're building a highly technical company, then probably the founding core could be a less front and center. I think the more that your company depends on customer interaction and go to market growth, then the more that the one of the founding team members has to be more charismatic because they're going
mhm.
to have to lead a go to market organization that's really efficient. So I think it really depends. But I do think that I can't think of a lot of examples of really great companies where the founders didn't have some unique skill sets that made them great leaders.
Mhm, mhm.
Mm, mm. Uh, uh, yeah. I guess it also depends like what stage of the company. Maybe in the earlier days, it just doesn't come so natural to some people. And maybe they built a great product or whatever, and then they bring in someone to complement that skill set. I can think of a few companies which I won't name the name of, but the founders are like not the best leaders, but they bring people in, and um, or they just get replaced and someone else goes into their role as the company starts to scale. Shall we move to how your 2025 was? Hey, I know this is a like question you probably need to prepare with because it's very broad and open. But when I ask that question, does anything come straight to mind for either of you? A general sentiment of
Mm,
how the year went for you personally, company, industry.
first thing to my head, um, so like UK is being bashed that there is recession, all of that. But I've been seeing differently. Um, there is a lot of work out there, and I understand why people complain. They probably got stuck in the like old days or ways of doing things. So that's like the first thing that comes to my head, that it's not really that bad here as people would say.
Mm. Because you've been
Yeah.
busy?
Because I can see not only me, but people in the industry that I work with, they are very busy and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Why could
Yeah.
this be?
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, I think every time that situation on the market changes, and some people are stuck in their own ways, how they used to do things, um, there's other subset of people who thrive because they don't have the old ways, so they can adapt quickly.
I think that from personal, to respond to your point, Martin, then I'll ask you, Dustin. I think that media are causing a lot of issues at the moment. and like the sentiment of how people are posting on, and the stuff that they're putting out on their social media and whatnot is very, very negative. And I had another experience similar to mine to you, where everyone was talking about how dangerous London is and da 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 blah 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 blah. And I read a few things recently, and to to contradict that, but also just from my own experience, having not been out like in central London for a long time, and went out in summer this year. And I was coming home in a taxi and going through all the streets of London, not all of them, but a lot of streets of London. And there was people just walking around having a great time, like safe, walking back in like places where you would think, oh my goodness, like why are you out there walking by yourself in the dark at this time of the evening back? And like everyone was happy. There was no danger or violence. And I was just like, wow, the social media and news can be so fear mongering, but when you're actually experiencing it, it's like totally different. And I think that paired
Well,
with like the flooding of AI content as well, and like fake videos and pictures and posts, is just makes me very skeptical of how the media landscape is evolving right now.
Yeah, I mean, the media likes to paint San Francisco as like this poop infested,
Yeah.
homeless zombie apocalypse that's going
Yeah.
on. And that's mostly done by the right-wing conservative networks. And, that's unfortunate. And I am more conservative than I am left-leaning. So that's but I love San Francisco because San Francisco is a unique place. I do think the politics of San Francisco hurts the city a lot. So yeah, but you see it on both sides. Like every side, I think, has taken the trajectory of, hey, our only way to win votes is by scaring people the other side, which is a seriously fucked up way to, sorry for the vulgarity, but a fucked up way to lead. It's purely scare and mongering tactics. I've almost I have not been paying attention to politics as much as I used to. And it's actually been very healthy. I think
Yeah.
people need to remove themselves a lot of times.
From LinkedIn and from politics.
Not remove myself from LinkedIn. But in terms of this year's, all in all, it's been a wonderful year. I mean, our company-wise, will 3x revenue. So that's kind of cool.
Beautiful.
Our team's grown, more than doubled. We've won a lot of logos in the top ENR 400. More and more companies are reaching out. I just scheduled 2 calls for the first week after January. Yesterday on my deathbed with top 20 builders. So that was very excited. And
So you could do that, but you couldn't buy Christmas attire?
priorities. And then like personally, like the year before was really hard for me personally, and this year was like just growing. I mean, Martin, you even said it to me when we started this to now, how much like healthier I've been and look like. Put a lot of time into just bettering myself, and I'm really excited about 2026. I want to continue this momentum. It's good.
What do you think, Dustin and Owen, will surprise people in 2026 in construction space?
That's a great question.
I think that what will surprise people is how quickly technology is evolving in like the AI arena and people's products that are building AI and whatnot in the space, but how far behind still the people using this technology are. And I think that will continue to, I don't know what's the term where they like grow at
The
different,
gap widens.
yeah, the gap will
between
continue
people.
to widen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it will come as a shock to, we've probably had similar discussions here, but I think it will come as a shock to some people.
Yeah, I think that I think it'll be something like that, where people are going to be there's a lot of people, well, in my space, particularly pre-con, that just do not want to change. And I think by the end of 26, there's going to be some more forcing functions. I also think that there's going to be some people that are fired because they weren't more on the 8 ball than they are today. But I think the biggest thing is there's going to be a lot of technologies that help pre-con that really start continuing to further themselves from alternatives on the market. And I think people that get behind the 8 ball are just going to be in a lot of trouble.
But would you say that these technologies, I agree with this, but these technologies will come from the outside startups and then only agile companies will adopt it, or these technologies will come from within the organizations and these organizations will be then kind of getting the edge over the competition more and more because of the stuff they kind of evolved within themselves?
Well, I think that the companies there's some large GCs that are investing a lot in this. There are a few that might be capable of making some material improvement, but I do think that the cool stuff will come from the startup community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, despite what some people say, I know I've had some discussions on Bricks and Bytes about how like vibe coding has opened up a whole opportunity for large companies to build their own softwares and use them, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Yet to see
vibe
that play
coding is
out.
also a recipe for huge disasters. It's a
Yeah, and
recipe for huge disaster.
you saw that
mean-
I've put something in it just to add to that, as we do talk about news every now and then. Lovable, the company, just raised 330 million
Mhm.
at a something billion valuation. 6.6 billion valuation, 330 million raised, Series B. Very curious to see how that plays out.
Mm.
Anyway, sorry,
To
Dustin.
me, everyone who thinks that they will vibe code the app and they will start selling it to people, I think that's
No
delusional.
chance.
So I guess they have revenues, right? Their
Yes.
revenues would
200
would
million
have to
apparently.
become,
ARR.
yeah.
Dustin, you're going to carry on saying something?
Well, just because you can vibe code something that just works for you, that doesn't mean you have a commercially available product that's ready to start bringing on customers. And the actual distance between something you create for yourself and a commercial product is much larger than people think.
But will this help bring the ideas to reality? For sure. And I think it's a great thing in general.
At the very least, what it can do is help you get a product that you like, because you're probably not a technical person that developed this. Help you recruit, your technical co-founder to actually make it into a company and make it into a commercial product.
Yeah, but sure, like, okay, we are where we are with that, but as these companies do have so much funding, is it just not a matter of time before they do actually get to a state, these vibe code apps, where they are like able to deploy fully?
I don't know a lot of companies that have raised a lot of money that were vibe coded to start.
Well, apparently 100,000 apps a day, I think I read on the article, are developed on Lovable.
No, no chance. I mean, the math wouldn't work. Yeah, 200 million divided by something like 360 million products, or
I don't know.
365 million products. How much is an app?
Martin, what's going to surprise you about 2026?
What is going to surprise me about 2026?
You asked the question, yeah.
Oh, okay. What do I think that will surprise us in 2026 in construction tech? I actually think that there will be more and more companies, smaller companies, which will develop stuff internally and they will be snapping a lot of margins in what they do. That's my theme and the way I think about
explain
it.
that. What do you mean?
So companies, for example, in the design space, creating more and more technology in-house and automating calculations, design, or processes, and improving their margins hugely. That's what I would think will happen more and more, and to the really great volume.
Not vibe coding though.
Is that surprising? Is that surprising? I don't know. To me, it's kind of. I think people think that startups will be bringing more and more innovation. I agree, but
yeah, but to counter that, like how will these companies, like then they need to like run a full software operation, right? As opposed to,
well, this gets to the great debate we're going to have in January, doesn't it?
Yes.
or my thesis was, I mean, even for them to be able to build upon this, they're going to need technology layers that they're going to interact with. Like I don't think that anyone's going to be successful replicating a Procore internally. That sounds like a whole recipe
No.
for right.
Yeah.
So they're going to build on, hey, how do I take data that rests in whatever work product I traditionally work in, and maybe it's transform it into something else, or take this information in order to provide insights. But you first need to select what is our software layers that we want to do our work in. And a lot of companies have not made their software selection and are doing it via Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, and everything else. And so this kind of gets to the great debate. I don't know if we've even talked about this, but maybe
No,
we'll talk
we
about
will.
that coming up.
We will. I'll get to that in a bit.
So you're saying that there is a need for like a basic layer, which can be a Procore, for example, for this data then to be repurposed in the right way. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if you're a designer, like you probably have design software, but you might not have like an RFP proposal software application. So maybe you're trying to build your own RFP proposal application. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're trying to build a CRM. But if you had a CRM, you would probably have a better way to create an automated proposal than you would if you just had your Outlook.
Or if the news is as bad as it says it is, maybe you're just trying to survive 2026. Dun, dun, dun.
I think 2026 is going to be fantastic.
Yeah. So this is some of the stuff that I brain dumped based on discussions we had on here and like general sentiment across discussions on Bricks and Bytes and the industry. It was definitely the year of AI agents, big development. The race is heating up, lots of different companies coming into the space, which has attracted more funding and also more companies which we have all been a bit very skeptical of. But at the same time, interesting to see how it plans out. We've seen different styles of building companies in the AI arena. One particular case, very PR heavy and lots of press attention. Others a little bit more reserved and maybe more heads down and focused on I would say the product, but different things. There was also this Turner and OpenAI mega deal. If you remember, we spoke about a few episodes ago. There was, if you remember as well, the OpenAI where we had discussion. They were paying $555,000 for architectural designers. I did get that right. Architectural engineers, I think was the term. Firmus AI company was acquired by Nemet. Was it Nemet? It was Nemetschek, yeah. And obviously, most recently, the ACOM acquisition of Consigli, which I think gives a good overview.
I will say another thing that's going to happen in 2026 is I think there's going to be a lot of acquisitions. I think there'll be a lot of acquisitions. I think there's a lot of smaller mid-sized ones, but in general, I think all sizes will be a lot bigger next year, or will happen a lot more frequently than did in 2025. 2025 didn't have a lot of acquisitions. I think the acquisition market makes a ton of sense next year. Interest rates will be a little bit lower. There's a lot of companies that have some niche offerings that are very complementary to many of the companies with huge portfolios. So I can see there being, lots of small, medium, and even some large acquisitions.
What do you think about the sentiment around these acquisitions? Are these going to be at 20 multiple or 400 multiple?
Depends who buys them.
The small ones will be at small multiples, the medium ones will be at medium multiples, and large ones will be at large multiples. The small ones will be at small multiples because they are a niche and they're not going to really survive in their own. So they're going to get sub 10x revenue multiple. The medium ones will get up to 20, and there's going to be some large ones that get 25 or 30x on their revenue because they're growing really fast, and there's a big opportunity to bring them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also in terms of like general outlook, I think the interest rates are being lowered down pretty much everywhere across US, EU, UK as well. I think EU has announced today as well another interest rate cut. The debt, I think, all throughout the globe, the Western globe, is going to be increasing. So there will be money to spend on construction and infrastructure. So difficult to think about it that it will be a bad year from a supply money point of money point of view.
Mm. I think one thing to watch, and maybe this is a good segue into the great debate, but will be about how large language model, how the big players react to the construction industry as well, and whether the models that these people are creating will become powerful enough that they're able to take the weight off a lot of the grunt work of either estimators or project managers in the field or various other people that might exist within the industry. So that will be an interesting piece to watch. Before we go there, I do remember, Martin, maybe you remember as well, when we were in Suffolk talking about AI and how it might develop in construction. And part of the reason it couldn't develop in construction was because of the cost of training a lot of these models on specifically drawings. So I think that could be a big blocker to that. And I don't know if there's been more advancement since we've had that discussion, because that was like 6 weeks ago now or so.
I'll just say that when I drop, I did like 3 quotes today for clients, right, about structural engineering, and these products are multi-story buildings that needs to be converted, each of them like 5-6 stories, hefty engineering, a lot of like complicated stuff. I drop all of the drawings into it, plus all of the scope documents, and Gemini accurately picks up the differences between existing and proposed. So I honestly think that this is just a matter of
100% accurate
months.
or not?
No, 100% accurate, but doesn't have to be 100%
But good
accurate
enough.
for my purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good enough. So I honestly think it's a matter of time when the general not the general intelligence, but general LLMs will become good enough. But if someone can spin a construction-related LLM that reads the drawings, I think that's also on the way. We spoke with someone during Suffolk that he said that the cost to develop it is around $1.3-1.4 million, and they are working on it.
We'll see.
Yeah. So
we'll see next year. Shall we talk about 2026? Definitely what there will be more of is these Bricks and Bytes debates. Dustin, you're going to be starring in one in January.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, I mean, this was confirmed yesterday, so we'll announce it. But Dustin will be debating KP Ready on Bricks and Bytes. So that will be number 2. I'm very much looking forward to that. Dustin, what
Yeah.
do you think the theme and I don't know if you thought about this as much as perhaps the full preparation is, but do you have an idea of what angle you're going to be coming from for this debate?
Well, the debate
Now you-
started based
Sorry.
started based upon me posting that my statement was that companies are better off if they start adopting cloud-based systems for their workflows. And I primarily come at it from the lens of pre-con, and a lot of people in pre-con do their estimating in Excel spreadsheets, or they use desktop tools, and they use desktop tools for their takeoff. And my opinion is that if they had cloud applications, they'd be better prepared to adopt AI tooling in the future than those that just sit flat-footed. And the reasoning behind that is that you're going to need data to train your models to do any sort of predictive, have any sort of predictive insights. Precon a lot of times is using historical data in order to make cost assessments on what something potentially will cost. And companies that don't have that infrastructure are not going to be able to use them as well as others. So that's where I'm coming from. I imagine, though, we start talking about a lot of things in construction, because while he disagreed with that, he also agreed with me on another post that I made, which was, I'm just baffled at how much money is being thrown into AI takeoff by the venture community, because the venture community likes to, and this post I had has over 9,000 views. The venture community likes to say construction's had no efficiency gains, so we're investing in AI takeoff, and this is going to totally change the industry. And I actually really want to debate one of the VCs that is making one of these big investments, but I don't think that they would ever do that.
Hell no. We can ask.
No way. We can ask, but here's the thing. To say that AI takeoff is materially going to impact construction implies that we go through pre-con and we're spending all of our time doing takeoff, and that just by automating that, we're going to condense the amount of time we spend in pre-con. That's just not true. AI takeoff is something that takes time, but what takes most of your time is debating the scope, the objectives of the project, and the cost of the project. We never are like, hey, you can't, or, well, I shouldn't say never. You came up with 100 quantities for this, and we think it's 95, and we spend months debating whether it's 95 or 100. Like, that's not a thing. We're talking about, okay, this costs so much because of this scope. How do we change this scope? And those scopes are quite large. Like, it's like, hey, we need to substitute X for Y across the entire project in order to reduce the total cost. So,
But
quantity takeoff isn't a part of that conversation. It's like,
I think it is to a degree that the scope is also defined by the quantities, right? If the scope is
but
yeah. So, but I think that the point is that I think that the conversation about takeoffs, automating takeoffs, kind of could have been a conversation a few years back. Right now, based on what I can see, based on these general rig models, this is going to become a commodity kind of service or a feature that you will just be able to get the quantities very, very quickly. Yeah, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, but I guess, like, if you have the quantity, sure, you know the price to install toilet partitions, and you know how many linear feet of toilet partitions you have, or you know how to, you know those things. But the debate is, we are 20%, we cost 20% more than what we want to pay. And so pre-con is about, how do we find that 20%? And it's not going and reducing, 2 of this one, 3 of that one. These are large scale scope changes. And like the big problems in construction are when we have scope conflicts, when we don't understand the scope. And so having those conversations that's where the real art of pre-construction is. And that's how you build a really good project plan. And that's where you're going to have a lot of decisions need to be made. And quantity takeoff is not really a part of those decisions or those conversations to a macro degree.
Yeah, I think that shows in like a very linear problems that there's one task, let's say creation of the retaining walls, and that's the only thing in the project. That's quantity takeoff is a kind of half of the task, because you know how much of the retaining structure is there, and that's pretty much it what you need to know. But for more complex projects, like you said, it's more scope and the price.
Dustin, are you there? Interesting. Hey guys, we're going to have Esther in. We can continue this, finishing off this debate point in a second. I'll get to the points that were discussed on this, and I'll play you the music that I created for the event as well. I'm very excited to do that. But in the meantime, I'll let Esther in. Hey, Esther.
Hello.
Hey, Esther.
Hey.
How are you? How is it going? We lost Dustin.
Great.
He must have seen you coming.
Yeah, scared off.
Okay, Esther.
Great Christmas get up, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. We tried our hardest this week.
You too. You have some. Is it Christmas trees on the dress, or?
It's whatever you want it to be honest. I thought it was adjacent, theme adjacent.
Yeah, no, that's good. I didn't notice. Well spotted, Martin. Hey, Esther, let me do my introduction to you first, and then you can clarify the points, right?
Sure.
we got chatting some time ago. Someone who works for the company you work for, Breadcrumb, sent me a video of some epic advert. And I was having some discussions with people at the time about like marketing and construction tech world, and like how dry and boring it is, and how it needs the fresh approach, and da 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 da. And I still think it does, and I think people are making good headway into that. You being one of those people, and they sent me this video, and I was like, "That's hilarious! I've never seen anything like it in the industry. More people should be doing this." And then somehow found out that you were the mastermind behind the video. You can correct the facts in a second. And then
There are a
you,
few
at the time,
masterminds.
one of the minds. And at the time, you were working for a video marketing agency, would you call it, as a marketing
Mm-hmm. Yep.
director? And then so for the company that produced the video for the construction tech company, you then left that marketing agency and then joined the construction tech company for which the video was made. And so now I'm hoping, and I'm assuming that we're going to see a lot more great, funny advertisements of Breadcrumb, who you work for now, across the industry.
Yeah, I mean, that is the plan. And I was making the move from New Zealand to London, and they wanted to snap me up because I think I had done a lot of work with ODV, the video production agency, to reflect the humor that was a part of that company culture, and they really wanted to do that at Breadcrumb. So they already had this amazing vision, which was actually one of the reasons I said yes to the role, because I really felt they were going to back up their commitment to marketing with budget and hiring, which they've absolutely done. So it's been a great ride. We've got big plans for next year.
Shall we watch one of the videos?
Please,
I'm hoping
let's
this
do
works. I've only done this once before. We actually watched another advert of an, if you two, Martin and Dustin, remember what advert that was, to do with God and Autodesk.
Oh, Autodesk.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, actually, they are jumping on the bandwagon too of this discussion. So, right, can you all see this? This is the right one, Esther, right?
This is the one.
Yeah, this isn't the one I referred to previously, but this is the newer one and one that you helped to produce. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, let's watch this. 1 minute 20.
What?
Can you hear it?
Amazon.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I forgot I appear at the end of that.
So, like, yeah, I think that I will ask a very open question. What's the thing? Like, yeah, what? How did you come across this idea of like bringing the humor and like this vibe to the industry? And by the way, like, can you give us a bit of an insight into the success of this and how you measure that?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that I told my colleagues I was having this chat today, because they gave me an amazing example, which I will share with you now.
Nice.
So we onboarded a client recently called Eco Matrix. They do fit out work in London, and they part of the reason they came to us is because they saw this video. And when we were doing their onboarding call recently, they talked about why this video helped them sort of make their decision is because they showed it to their site team, and a lot of the site team really felt seen. They were like, oh my goodness, that character's like this guy on site that I saw yesterday. And they had this sense of connection with the product where they felt we understood them. And I think like humor is such a good way of doing that because it's universally relatable. And I mean, I've just had enough experience doing marketing where humor leads the story to know that it works. And so that was just a great example, right, of hearing that connection from the first time they saw it to then onboarding with the product. And I will definitely be sharing that story with my manager. So I think that's a good example, but it's obviously not just easy to do humorous content. And I think the really important part of it is making it relatable to the audience. And so we are always thinking about how can we make people feel seen. So it's humor that relates to their day-to-day experience, that frustration that you have, and the dynamic between the two characters. And that's why we often do character-led videos where we actually hire actors to do these characters. And then with that particular video, we even did multiple pieces with those same characters, which told a story. So those are a few tips.
Mm-hmm. So character development, humor, which, by the way, humor is a funny point because I don't know if any of you have read the book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, but I think he says the two things that live a purposeful life are like love and humor. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe you could add love to the next one. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's actually there's a great stat that like I pulled it out here as well, that brilliant ads generate 12 times more profit than a rubbish ad, but the brilliant side of it is very connected to emotion. So if you can create emotion within the audience, and actually it doesn't just have to be humor, that's what we've chosen, that goes a really long way into being memorable.
Very cool. Any of you guys want to follow up some questions? If not, I have a list.
I actually, we talked about it maybe a year ago about how to make construction more engaging and how startups actually should be showing their products. Because like quite a lot of startups, when I get on the website, I just don't know what they talk about. And the video is the thing that shows very clear way and quickly like what they do. But I think if someone can show a caricature of a situation that the startup is tackling in a funny way, that's the key, because it ticks the box in everyone's head who is involved in particular activity, and they exactly know what is all about.
Yeah, exactly. And I also think with showing the product is great at different levels. Like when you're talking about people coming across you for the first time, you don't actually need to show much of the product. You want to just hook them in terms of resonating with their experience. So that's why that video is very pain focused.
I know. So you
and then you can show more about the product.
Yeah, the product comes
Barely
right at the
all,
end,
right? At
right?
the
Like
end.
10 seconds or whatever it is. Very smart.
Exactly.
Maybe Esther, tell us a little bit how long did it take you like to write the scenario for all of that, and how long does it take to create? I can't remember how much was it, like 2 minutes of
1 minute 20
of a video. 1
minute 20. Yeah. Well, it depends who you work with, right? We've got a couple of great video providers, and obviously this one was made with ODV. They've worked with us for a while now, for like 3 or 4 years, obviously since before I joined. And so the process is pretty fast with them because they really get what we're trying to do. We did like one brainstorm session with them. We did maybe 2 scripting sessions with them where they wrote the script and we fed back. And then we probably had about a month where we were trying to pull everything together. I only found a location to film like 2 days before we were shooting. And then we spent 1 day filming 3 videos. And then within a week they were edited. So pretty fast, to be honest.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Depends how you look into it, yeah?
Dustin, you got some background noise, by the way, dude.
Do I?
Yeah, some railway behind you or something.
Or AC.
I literally don't hear
Washing
anything
machine?
else here. No, nothing's going. I'm always curious. Every video that's ever shot of construction, no one ever has glasses on, which is part of the PPE.
Well, it depends where you're at, right? Like, I think this video is very stylized, but it's a great point. The other thing too, which I almost wanted to point out with that video, is we did stylize it. Like, you'll notice that the safety vests are pretty clean. But there's another video we filmed recently where we were like putting all of the hard hats and high vis into the dirt, like trying to muck it up and make it look a lot more used.
Realistic.
But yeah, the safety glasses, I mean, I go to a lot of construction sites, and actually they're only used on certain scenarios, right? Where if like hot works is happening or, various things like that. So
No, I love it. How do you go about, because I think humor is terrific, and I think identifying the pain, because you only have so much time. If you identify the pain, then hopefully people realize you have a solution. Do you ever worry though? I mean, obviously there's no risk in this one, but the best humor is on a fine line to offensive. Do you guys ever think about, should we even approach it? Like, get really funny or not?
Well,
Yeah, like how far?
look at Autodesk and the god or with the god, right? So like they went full on this.
Yeah,
so
they didn't give a fuck.
I think actually the more what's the saying? Any attention is good attention or something like that.
Yeah.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the appetite, the internal appetite, right?
Carol.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, so is the question, would we push it further, or like how do we decide how far to go?
Both.
Both, yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know, like we probably would for the right story, but I think as well, like a couple of considerations, like humor in different regions, so I suppose in Australia, very self-effacing kind of humor, which is where we have our roots, right? And I think the UK responds quite well to that.
Yeah.
We experience the US, and maybe you guys can tell me this, less so. So we lean into slightly different style of humor, more overt.
Dustin does
so
never
that
laugh at
plays
my
a
bad
part.
It's
jokes
boring
about
over
him.
there. That's what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. But yeah, it depends. And also it depends what we think will land with the audience. We don't like to push it too far when it comes to them and their work. Obviously, it's also safety that we're dealing with, so you got to be kind of careful about that. But yeah.
I do have one bit of feedback for the video. There was not enough swearing in there.
Oh, please. Not enough swear. Yeah, we did have some beeped out swear words in the first one.
Some fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he almost did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That video in Australia, which had a beeped out swear word, the first one, when we brought it to the UK, it equal parts shocked people and also made them intrigued to watch more. So that was the response here.
Yeah, I guess you're treading like a very fine line actually with what you're doing, which people actually really people like when people are bold and take risks, and hopefully it pays off and doesn't go too far in the wrong direction. Esther, why do you think that, like, as someone who came from outside of the AEC industry, why do you think that the content generally is kind of like lame, I suppose is the word? It's like very corporate. Doesn't include a lot of humor, as like old school. Like a lot of the big news publications, all they really publish is like so and so won another big project, so and so has gone into insolvency, so and so has won another big project, so and so has gone into insolvency. Like it's the same kind of crap that's just rebounded across or through the industry.
Yeah. I mean, I had some thoughts about this. I think a lot of companies in this industry are pretty risk adverse, which comes with the territory, I think. So that kind of flows through into how they want to communicate their business. There's definitely this sense that if you are appealing to enterprise customers and you're going to be handing over a lot of money, that you need to not stray into silly territory. And I think that is the fine line perhaps that we're talking about. But much like the rest of B2B, I think this industry suffers from forgetting that they're marketing to humans, and humans are curious people. They have emotions. They like humor and entertainment. And so that's a big piece of it. And then also marketing often isn't prioritized. So it's not where the money goes. Maybe you hire one marketer to be on a team and they have to cover all of the BAU stuff. So they're really spending most of their time updating the website and doing like PDF documents. And because of that, it's not a very attractive industry for marketers in general. And so you really have to communicate a vision if you want good talent, and you have to let marketers know that you're going to back their ideas, have trust in them, but also put budget and hiring behind it. So that's why I joined Breadcrumb, because I felt that they fit the bill there.
Yeah, I love it. Any more questions from you two?
We have a lot of early stage companies that kind of watch this, and so I have philosophies, but I'm curious your philosophy on early stage tech startups. Like what are the first marketing hires, and then how does that team sort of scale in your opinion?
Yeah, well, we actually have been on a really interesting journey with this. We started with generalists who could do a lot, and I think that's pretty important when you don't have much to work with. But recently, so earlier this year, we acquired a major competitor in Australia, Sign On Site. That's been amazing for growing the business into a global entity, and we joined forces with their marketing team, so that really helped. And then from there, we prioritized hiring. So that was 3 people at that stage, and then we prioritized hiring a content manager. And that hire has been a really amazing game changer, because we've been able to get a lot more content on construction sites. We have ideas and we can finally implement them. So there's a team of 4 of us, and we started with a generalist, but then we've kind of branched out into events and partnerships, brand and content, and then demand generation. So that connection between sales and brand. So that's how we've structured it, but there's a few different ways you could do it.
So the content person is construction specific, or like familiar with construction?
Actually, she had come from fire safety, so sort of an adjacent industry to us, but actually pretty new. but she's got this amazing attitude of just trying to soak up everything. She talks to customers all the time. So that's a really big part of our strategy, is getting her on site all the time, forming relationships. And actually, a real hack in this industry is if you end up working with other marketing teams, you can kind of collaborate with their resource as well and create content together. So we do that really successfully with our clients. And they love it because they often don't have people who are throwing ideas around, right? So we often have big brainstorms across businesses.
Like, yeah, almost just like a pseudo kind of content agency approach where you're developing content as the experts
Yeah.
but they also benefit too, right? So yeah, that's interesting.
Exactly.
That's something to think about. Cool. Okay.
Is there anything that startups should not do for sure in terms of their marketing strategy?
I mean, it really depends the industry you're in. Let me have a little think about that. I think you should not take on too much. So even with our team, we are pretty focused with like the channels we're on, which I know is a question you had, Owen, was like, what channels are we on and how do we balance that work? So we really, LinkedIn, massive for us, and that's the main social channel. Newsletters to communicate with customers, events to have in-person collaboration with prospects. And then we do creative things on the side, like we send boxes out with interesting merch to people. But just don't bite off more than you can chew. I think that's the number one.
Yeah,
Don't try to do everything.
like it a lot. Okay, last question. You just headed up, led. I swear my English gets worse as the day goes on.
It's the
you
end of the
just-
year. You're right.
Yeah, I'm okay. Plus, I have a big beard to battle with, which I've been growing for the
Yeah.
last 24 hours. So it's been a tough few days. What you just led like a large rebrand. So one breadcrumb is now breadcrumb. What's your
Yes.
quick advice for people going through a rebrand process from a branding perspective? The whole like term is in the name, right? So rebrand. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, and to be honest, I feel like our whole marketing team led this. It was massive. We did it in 5 months across 3 global regions with like 5 people.
Nice.
I think the 2 things that worked really well for us, one, a lot of internal communication. We were talking about this rebrand heaps to our staff, and that really helps with getting the customers on board with it, which was obviously important for us as a software company. And then we ran from an external side, like getting the news out. We ran a competition with our staff to share the news in the most creative way possible on LinkedIn. And we got over 50 posts, and the engagement we got from that was like 5 times more than if we had just posted from the company page. So getting your team excited about it really helps with reach, and helps also like solidify that brand message internally, because everyone's a brand champion, right? Everyone who works for your company. So those were 2 things that worked really well for us.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Awesome segment. Little mini masterclass in content, channel selection, creating great videos, and of course rebranding. Thank you, Esther.
Thank you.
Thank you, Esther.
A great
Best
chance
of
for me to
luck.
chat. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
have a
I'll
nice break.
speak to you soon. Take care, yeah?
See you
Merry
soon.
Christmas.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm
Thank
going
you.
to change my prediction for 2026. I think that there'll be more marketing. One of my predictions. I think there'll be more marketing like this, like more.
That's because you are biased.
No, I'm
I
definitely
agree with that.
biased.
I
I'm
agree with that.
definitely
I agree with
biased.
that.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But I see like companies like this are doing it, and also it's becoming more in other industries, and that will naturally start to rub off on the construction industry. And
Well,
that's where the
I think
content
you'll
and
see
the-
more. Oh, and I think you will see more marketing, but it's also because there's been a lot of companies that were funded in 23, 24, and 25 that are now getting big enough that they can support marketing efforts. Like there is a certain, like she talked about it, you have to have the budget for it. If you don't have the budget for it, then it's hard to spend.
How do
you
you
would be
view marketing
surprised
budget,
how
Dustin?
small the budget you need to actually produce something like this. Like it's really not super expensive. I think that I don't know. I think startups like to spend their money, fine, but you can do these things pretty cheap. And like content creation now is so democratized. Like anyone can just pick up a camera. Even iPhone is good
That's
enough
true.
to go and do a tour and record something half funny. So you'll be surprised that videos like this are not as crazy as you think. But yeah, interesting time. Shall we do a recap of the great debate? and the outcomes
Yes.
from Mike and Luigi's 5-minute rounds in the Octagon on Tuesday evening here in Bricks and Bytes AEC Octagon. So yeah, we done. Actually, I said I was going to
Very
play my music.
disappointed on Patrick's that he didn't do Michael's buffer. Let's get ready to rumble.
You're not going to get
First-
that up.
First off, I need your guys' feedback. I will give you a quick snippet of the music. Tell me what you think.
I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, a bit of Limp Bizkit
Wow.
inspiration. That was made on
Intense.
Suno, yes. Like 30 minutes. I went out for a walk as like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours before
That's your
we went
walking
live.
music?
No, and then I just had the idea. Yeah, you can imagine how I walk, right?
Yeah.
I had the idea whilst I was out for a walk, and I quickly just do a few prompts in Suno, and bosh, that's the result. So, to the debate, we had Mike and Luigi. Mike's argument was that
We should have asked Tom about some music recommendations for this.
Sorry,
Tom
man,
Felice.
my internet cut there. What did you say, Tom?
Sorry, I was going to say that we should have asked Tom Felice for the recommendation of the music.
The Suno maestro, yeah. So okay. So there was a core like theme of the debate was whether large language models had solved construction estimating, and Mike was arguing that the extraction problem, quantity takeoff, is solved by the current models. But Luigi was saying that large language models can't accurately count or measure certain tools or whatever. Why are you laughing?
Dustin is breaking glass or what?
Sounds like he's doing something. He's getting angry ready for his debate. He's strengthening his grip.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm going through my debate in my head. I'm
and
thinking about the music.
yeah, Luigi was basically arguing that like it can extract things from drawings, but only if there's like a text denominator to describe what a symbol or so on and so forth might be. And really, like the conclusion of the debate was that there wasn't a strong conclusion, like yes or no. You can like large language models will be able to solve construction estimating, or large language models won't be able to solve construction models. Mike is still in the camp that they will. Luigi is in the camp that they will not. And you need specialized companies like Provision, which Luigi's built in order to like fill in that last piece of the puzzle. Yeah. And I think like that was the core premise of it. I won't go into the detail. Maybe people could go and watch the debate because there's a few more points that came on there about like the future role of the estimator, who's liable for quantities, what's wrong with the industry from an incentives perspective. And there was a lot of actually what was great from our perspective was like the community engagement was really, really good. I think like a lot of people tuning in, asking questions, getting involved in the chat. And that was great to see. So a lot of people were interested in this discussion point. What's
I haven't.
Go, Dustin.
I haven't really said my opinion on this. I really want to. I want to wait, but here is like, it depends on what your intent is that you're trying. What the problem is you're trying to solve. On if these are good enough as your foundational models for whatever you're going to take off. So a foundational model on its own is probably not going to solve all takeoff for everything we do in construction, because not all takeoff. So you would have to build on top of them regardless.
Yeah, an agent, which will provide you with dimensions of everything that you need to.
Yeah, but you some of what's shown on the drawings you need to augment in order to even derive your quantities from. And so you're going to need to build on top of whatever that is. So I think it depends on what you're trying to take off in those sets of documents on whether or not a foundational model will work. I still believe, though, that we're so obsessed with quantities and we're not obsessed with like there are companies working on this, but scope conflicts and some of these things that are much more material to determining if this project is going to move forward and what are the real risks of the project. Even the marketer that we just had on, she said, people are really risk adverse. We should be focused more on risk and some of those issues. But I think that if you're doing something, there's probably not a winner and a loser in this.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike's company is concerned about large equipment. It's probably not going to miss how many air handlers you're trying to order.
I mean, it would be an epic issue if it did, right? That's like a few $100,000 mistake that you could make.
There's an equipment schedule for those. It's in text.
But what if the drawings are wrong? There's an issue. Or the equipment schedule's wrong.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's...
So, yeah, this is... I mean, if the foundational layer of the project, let's call it drawings, are wrong, then everything else will be wrong as well. Yeah?
But you know what I found funny? After we've done this debate, there's some posts that come out on LinkedIn. Either people watched it or are just posting about this stuff. But people were drawing conclusions like you can't just rely on large language models, and they're getting worse, and and you have to build your own one, and so on and so forth. And I found that the substance behind their argument of how and why they come to their conclusion is not good, and it's just confirmation bias from these people because they're either building a company in that space, or for another reason they picked a dodgy data set to base their assumption on. I don't know, but it just proves to me that that back to our very early discussion on this podcast, that the age of AI is becoming very interesting, and these types of conversations are fundamental to keeping people informed, and also just trying to work out what the hell is actually going on, because I don't really think anyone knows.
I also think that the barrier to entry to build a startup that can read the drawings or can do something with the drawings using AI has collapsed or is collapsing. So then all of the startups that are trying to tackle this problem, the cost to replicate them, I think it's decreasing with every single day.
Decreasing.
Yeah. So, and I would understand why they would be arguing against this, because that's their business model as well.
Shall we? I'm going to do 2 more topics and then we're going to wrap up. Topic number 1 is going to be a prediction market leaderboard update of the beta, but it's not closed yet. We'll update people in the new year. And last one is Christmas traditions for both of you. So the current leaderboard, which, by the way, this is the flaw that I noticed. And if either of you two, I know you're both involved in the beta. If you're smart, you will just bet like everything you have in these last 2 days, and you could still come quite high up in the leaderboard. I'm not going to put myself in because I've been playing around, but on the leaderboard. So in first place will be Tom Fellies. Thanks, Tom, for getting involved. Second is Sniper34. I don't know who that is. I think that's you, Martin, yeah? Third place is AEC. I think I know who that is.
I am the second at the top or bottom?
No, top. And the second after that is AECVC. I think I know who that is. And after that is Edification. I think maybe I know who that is too. This is another dilemma I'm coming up against. Is in order for this to be most effective, do you give people pseudonyms or do they use their real name?
I can change mine to my real name. I was in first place after Monday, but I haven't bet anything. So it's my fault.
Yeah, I've not looked into it for a week at least, so I need to catch up.
Tom actually called me the other day. Was there I didn't know this, was there a wager on who's the best looking host?
Yeah, you bet the most on yourself and won.
I skimmed that one.
Did I bet a bunch on myself?
Yeah.
What's the outcome right now?
What's the what?
What's the outcome? Who wins that one?
Dustin won. He got 63% of the vote.
Nice.
Woo! Here are some of the things that we've done on there, so people can grasp what's going on here.
Read them off.
We done one who's the best Bricks and Bytes looking host? Will there be a $40 million plus fundraising announcement today? Did Acorn really pay $390 million for Consigli? Will the Fed cut interest rates today? How many pairs of shoes does Mo own? I don't know if you've seen
More
Mo's
than
backdrop.
40?
Oh, here it's like 200 something plus.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That was,
It's a
that was
ridiculous amount.
obvious. That was
Yeah.
obvious to me.
And will Procore stock finish the week higher than it started? How
I think
many?
no one got this one, no?
It didn't. No, it didn't. How many AEC tech IPOs will there be in 2026? This is something that you didn't cover last week, but you should have, which was about
Equipment share.
Equipment share, yeah. Filing for
Yeah,
IPO.
Equipment shares filed IPO.
And then there will also probably be
And-
most likely be Inframarket too, right? So that will be 2 next year. if it
So there will
happens.
be 3 because Anthropic will be the third one.
Ha 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 ha. Martin, we can give you a drum roll joke if you want. Here you go.
Thank you.
Okay, how do I stop that? There we go. Then we done the Spotify Wrapped average listener age of the beta group. What was that? 36 to 45. My listener age on Spotify Wrapped was 56.
What is listener age?
Well, it's like I guess it goes for your taste in music and then works out what year that artist was active, then gives you an age based on that. So I listen to very old artists.
Sounds like a very posh metric to measure.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah. I don't use Spotify.
Who will win the event? And obviously, are you working Christmas Day? Of which 100% of people said yes. Lol.
Christmas Day is here in when? 25th?
And on 25th is next Thursday. What?
Martin,
on
I'm
that
pretty
point-
sure that's a worldwide event.
Well, to be honest, in Poland we have our Christmas is 24th, that where we have like a dinner, proper dinner, and all of that. 25th and 26th is it's just days off for us, so it's not. I think it's in the Western world more. Like yeah.
Yeah. What's your guys' traditions on Christmas Day? What do you get up to?
Yeah, dinner on the
So-
24th and then hanging out the 25th.
Yeah, we do dinner on the 24th, 12 dishes, most of like local fish and all of that, 12 traditional dishes. And yeah, everyone, no one can stand away from the table until they try each of the dishes. Yeah,
Wow.
mom is making sure everyone tries.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Martin, that means that also this time of year, it's been 1 year since you were officially married. How do you survive the first year of marriage? Any tips?
And it's keep doing what you're doing.
Come on.
Yeah, well, that's really it.
Give us the
Nothing
truth.
changed. Nothing changed. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's just typical British. I think we usually go to the pub on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day we spend with family, parents, grandparents, kids, cousins, auntie, uncles, etc., and eat lots and open lots of presents. And then Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December, usually do it all again. But by that point, most people are just exhausted from the day before and overeaten and hungover and whatnot. So it's usually a bit of a lull. And then back to the grind.
Always back to the grind. Martin, did you own those beads or did you have to order those? I think you own those.
This?
Yes.
To be honest, I said to my wife Rashmita that I need to get something ordered for Christmas for today. And I ordered this. I told her, and this morning she put on the table, "Oh, have this and that in case your stuff doesn't come." So I also have.
Baubles.
I didn't know where to put them. No.
That's a
Very good.
good woman. Good woman.
Good
Well,
one.
guys, it's been a
Yeah.
pleasure 2025 hosting with you. We will continue in
Christmas, you guys.
2026 and see if our predictions were right this time next year. I'm glad I can take this.
Happy
back.
holidays.
Happy holidays, and to all our listeners too. Thank you.
Bricks, bucks, and bucks.